Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to today's math lesson. We are in Chapter 8, and we are going to compare lengths, okay? And before we begin or continue on with this, please make sure you have your math workbook, a pencil, your whiteboard, and marker with you. If you need to go get those, go ahead, get them now, and come on back. So as I said, we're going to compare lengths. And with Chapter 8, our essential question for all of our lessons are, how do I determine length and time? All right, so this is where you should have your whiteboard ready. All right, we're going to just do a little review as to how to use the graph to answer questions. And this graph is about favorite things to do, bike, kite, or soccer, okay? So for number 1, how many people chose riding bikes? If you need to, pause and write your answer on your whiteboard. Number 2, did more people choose flying kites or playing soccer? Write your answer. And another question will be, and is, how many people were surveyed in all? Put your answer down for that. Okay, here we go. 3 people chose riding bikes, and more people chose playing soccer rather than flying a kite. And how many people were surveyed in all? 6 people were surveyed in all. Very good. Okay. So now we are going to also go on to this. Oh, that was what the survey was right here. So C6. All right, here is where we're going. We're going to do our math investigation right here. So they want to know, what words can we use to describe the length of an object? Well, we could say how long it is, right? We could say how short it is. So if we were to compare these objects, which object is shorter than the pen? That's right, the push pen. Is the pen longer or shorter than the box of paints? It's shorter. Is the paint box longer or shorter than the push pin? Very good. It is longer. Good job. So that's really what our lesson is about today, how to compare our lengths. So to start that, we are going to look at this. Now, the one thing I want to point out before I do any reading on this is notice, and this is very important when you compare objects, okay? And even when you compare objects, especially in person, always make sure that the object lines up, all right? Again, they're the same, they start right along the same thing. One thing I like to use sometimes is an edge of a book, a table, or a ruler, and something that is definitely straight and firm so that you're sure that you're all starting off in the same spot. I'll read this and then we'll talk about it. The spoon is longer than the ticket. You can use your finger to compare those two so you can check that. The toothbrush is longer than the spoon. Okay. Now we're going to use that information and complete that sentence below. So they're going to say the spoon is longer than the ticket. The toothbrush is longer than the spoon. So the toothbrush is blank than the ticket. Is it longer or shorter than the ticket? What do you think? That's right. If you said longer, you were correct. The toothbrush is longer than the ticket. Very good. Okay, now let's look. I would like you to please get your math book, which you should have right nearby. If you need to, pause the video and turn to page 563. That is Chapter 8, Lesson 1. Do not worry about doing the Am I Ready or your vocabulary cards now, because that's something you'll do in this afternoon's independent work. Also, leave the clock page in there until we get to when we're going to use it, all right? And that way it's in your book, you won't lose it. If you have already torn it out, you should place it in your math folder with the other math pages. that we have been working with so that you are sure to find it later. Okay? So now they want us to choose 3 objects and draw them in each box. So I have already chosen what objects we'll use and draw. Okay? And because we are not together in a classroom, we'll just draw what I say and then we'll talk about it, okay? So that we can make that work for this lesson. So the first object that I have chosen to put in the first box is a penny. And for that, we're just going to do the best we can and draw a penny that looks to be about the size of a penny. And to make sure that we remember what it is, we'll put the letter P for penny. Okay. And for the next box, I've chosen a long, about a 1-inch paper clip, okay, which I'll do the best I can to draw that. Okay, those are the bigger ones, not the little ones. So there is my paper clip. And for the last box, I have chosen a brand new crayon. So I'm going to draw my crayon. Let's see, maybe if I use this, it might be better. Just to, yeah, nice straight line. Okay, one here, one there, and then finish it off here. That looks much better. Okay, so not the best crayon, but it could be worse. Okay, all right, now we have our objects. Penny, long, larger, okay, paper clip, and a crayon. Let's answer these questions. We can answer these questions out loud, okay? Choose 3 objects. Is object A shorter than object B? Thumbs up if you agree, if that's yes. Object A is shorter than object B. Is object B shorter than object C? Yep, thumbs up. Now here's the question. They want us to circle whether object C is longer than or shorter than object A. All right, so think about that. Is object C longer or shorter than object A? Circle your answer and come back to check it. That's right. If you chose longer than, you are correct. It is longer than, okay? So my pictures don't follow along with the slides. Probably not a bad idea because otherwise, oh my goodness, we'd look at that and say, what are those things? So let's erase that. Okay, let's turn the page and go to our see and show. Now, the words highlighted are usually what we will see for vocabulary words or words that are important to the lesson. So you can compare the lengths of objects. The paintbrush is longer than the pencil, and the pencil is longer than the tube of paint. And I like how they line those up in that order because on paper I can't move it around to get it that way. So that's the way I would put it. Helpful hint, the lengths of objects can be shorter or longer than each other. So here is our question. Is the tube of paint longer than or shorter than the paintbrush? And as you can see, it is shorter than. Something I want to point out to you because here, than, T-H-A-N, sometimes people think it sounds like the word then. As you can see, then. But when you compare, you're using T-H-A-N, longer than or shorter than, okay? So the difference is there's an A and it is used when you compare. Okay, let's turn and look at down. Well, I'm turning, you're looking down at number 1. And they would like us to compare these pictures and then answer the question. The pair of glasses is shorter than the marker. The marker is shorter than the picture. Is the picture longer than or shorter than the pair of glasses? Pause and circle your answer and come back for your answer. Yes, the picture is longer than the pair of glasses. Okay, here is our talk math. How can you tell if an object is longer than or shorter than another object. I would like you, please, to tell an adult, how do you know if something is longer than or shorter than another object? Pause and tell them now. Okay. Well, here's another way, too. Now, I'm using the ruler just to use it. I'm not measuring with it. And I'm comparing it to the length. And notice I'm working hard to get it equal there at the end, okay, so that they're starting at the same place. So right now I can say, which is shorter? Is my pencil shorter or is my ruler shorter compared to the other object? Right, the pencil is shorter than the ruler. And I know that because the pencil stops before the ruler, right? I also know that the ruler is longer than the pencil. How do I know? Because when the ruler stops, when the pencil stops, the ruler keeps going, okay? And like I said, the one thing I always like to make sure I can compare, because if I put it here, I'm not comparing. There's, especially when something is close. I know here it's pretty obvious, but when something is close, you want to make sure you get those lined up as close to each other as you can. Okay. Now, on your own, you're going to compare these objects here. I will read it to you. You circle your answer, and then you can come back, because you'll pause, and then you come back to check it. The crayon is longer than the paper clip. The scissors are longer than the crayon. Is the paper clip longer than or shorter than the scissors? Pause and circle your answer. Come back and check. There it is. The paper clip is shorter than the scissors. Okay. I don't know why this does that. All right. The eraser is shorter than the glue stick. The glue stick is shorter than the pencil. Is the pencil longer than or shorter than the eraser? Pause it and come back to check. Yes, the pencil is longer than the eraser. Okay, compare the objects, circle the correct answer. Okay, so here you notice there's no pictures. So let's read it and I'll tell you the best way to do something like this. The chalk is shorter than the pen. The paper clip is shorter than the chalk. Is the pen longer than or shorter than the paper clip? Okay, so what I like to do, if I don't have the objects in front of me, I use the descriptions that they give me to help draw pictures. So they're saying that chalk is shorter than the pen in this particular. So I'm going to draw a line to make chalk, all right? Piece of chalk. There's my chalk, okay? But then they're also saying that, oh, I got to do the pen, and I'm going to do the best, oops, erase, all right, well, we're not going to worry about it. I'll make a pen that kind of got bent somehow. All right, because, yeah, pen, and not working very well today for me. Well, my finger's not. There's my pen. And then paper clip is shorter than the chalk. Okay. So let me get this in. The chalk is shorter than the pen. Here's the pen. The paper clip is shorter than the chalk. Okay, here we go. Here's the paper clip. Okay, the chalk is shorter than the pen. Here's right. And the paper clip is shorter than the chalk. Is the pen longer than or shorter than the paper clip? All right. So think about it. Here's your answer. It's longer. That's right. It's longer than. Okay. And here we can look. Okay. The pen is longer than the paper clip. Okay. All right. Let's look at our next one, 5. The table is longer than the book. Okay. Now I'm going to make it a tabletop. because that'll be easier. Because usually when you're doing it, you're talking about the top of your table. Okay, so there's one end. There's the table. Oop, that's because my, here we go. There's the table. All right, and I need to do a book because the table is longer than the book. Okay, and yeah, I could draw it on top, but I like to try to keep up with how they're showing us. And the table's longer than the book. Now, the book is longer than the eraser. Now, whether it's a pencil eraser, a chalk eraser, they don't say, but it doesn't matter. We just know that the book is longer than the eraser. Eraser, book, and table. Is the eraser longer than or shorter than the table? Circle your answer and see what is the eraser longer or shorter than the table. That's right, it's shorter than. Okay. All right, boys and girls, so that's our math for today. We will continue to compare objects and use the words longer and shorter. And I also have a little video to show you for the beginning of our chapter. Okay, so I will see you later. Great job.